My name is Victoria Fisher. I'm an associate clinician at the Well of Life Center. I have my high school diploma from Plymouth White Marsh High School in 2000. I attended Radford University with a major in biology, minor in chemistry. I graduated in 2004. I attended Abington Memorial Hospital Dixon School of Nursing and graduated with a diploma as a registered nurse in 2007. Began working at the Well of Life Center as an associate clinician in 2010. And then I received my certification as a nutritional therapy practitioner in 2011. I became a client of the Well of Life Center in 2009 because I was dealing with migraines from the time I was 12 years old, and my migraines progressed and became more severe. And then I started to have symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome and hormonal imbalances, especially after having my daughter. So I went the whole medical route and was on medications, and it wasn't working, nothing was helping, and there was nothing physically wrong with me that they could find. I had every test under the sun performed. In 2 months of being a client, my migraines were almost gone. I came off of my medication within 3 months. And then within 6 months of being a client, Cynthia Hoffman-Cole, the owner and critical care clinician here, decided to, she asked me to come on board as an associate clinician. Carrots are a great food. I love them. I eat them raw, eat them cooked. You can do anything with carrots. You can have them as your vegetable. You can bake with them. Carrot cake is a great dessert. But they also have a lot of good nutrient value to them. I've been reading up on hormonal balance, and carrots are actually really key in that with the amount of beta carotene and vitamin A that they have in them. They're really good for hormonal balance. So they're a great snack for kids and adults. It's a great food to introduce for infants. They're just a really versatile vegetable, and there really isn't a fruit or vegetable that I don't like. I'll eat just about anything when it comes to fruits and vegetables. And my body's needing from that piece of food, then I'll eat more of it. So it's not that I eat based on what my favorite is. I just eat based on what my body is in need of at that time. Having a healthy, whole food, balanced, nutritionally dense diet is vitally important. One thing that I always tell clients, and then I reiterate in my lectures, is that we're kind of conditioned to live to eat. Everything is based on eating. Our social functions are based around food. Weddings, funerals, everything, celebrations. When we're sad, we gravitate towards food. When we're happy, we gravitate towards food. So our lives are oftentimes revolved around food, but we have to kind of flip that and think that we need to eat to live. What we eat feeds our body. What we eat brings life or brings death. So a lot of times I'll tell people, before you eat something, just think about, is this going to feed my body and bring life, or is this going to kill my body and actually bring death? And our diet, our standard American diet, actually does that. It kills your cells, it kills your mood, it kills your hormones. Your body can't build based on that. We actually literally are what we eat. If we eat junk, our body is made out of junk. If we eat healthy, nutrient-dense foods, then our cells are healthy and nutritionally dense. So our diet is vital for life. It's vital for reproduction. It's vital for mood balance, hormone balance, energy regulation. It helps us sleep. It helps us to perform better. If we eat well, then we can think more clearly. We can have better decision making. So our diet is really key in every aspect of our lives. So statistically speaking, this generation of children growing up, teens and young children, are actually slated to actually be survived by their parents. Their parents are going to outlive them basically because of diet. We don't like to take responsibility for that. We like to point fingers at other things. But if you see what's going on in our younger generations, there's actually the biggest culprit behind why parents will ultimately be outliving their children is because of our diet. If you look at the root behind it, there's a rise in obesity, there's a rise in type 2 diabetes, and the group that's actually has the biggest increase and the fastest increase in those two diseases, so to speak, are actually children and adolescents. They have the biggest increase in prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, which used to be called adult onset diabetes. Can't be called that anymore because teenagers and even children are being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So this is all diet related, this is all lifestyle related. So diet is huge in terms of our next generations coming up. And within even just looking at children, how they're eating, their activity level, all of that has a very big impact on their life expectancy, so to speak. If you look at children, our reproductive health is established by the time we're 9 years old. So if we always want to say, well, they're a kid, they should be eating junk food, they should be eating candy and cookies and all those things, that's actually not true, because they should actually be fed at the healthiest diet possible. Looking back to before there was the westernized diet, the people who got the most nutrient-dense foods were children and women of childbearing age, because they knew how important it was for the survival of their people. They knew how important it was for the survival of the human race. In order to procreate and to continue, you had to feed the up-and-coming generation. So women and young children were fed the best cuts of meat, they were fed the best foods, they had the actually highest fat diet because they knew how important it was for hormone balance, for reproduction. Nowadays, we feed our children whatever they want or whatever they supposedly will eat, and then expect them to perform well, expect them to have healthy bodies, and expect them to produce healthy children, and it just doesn't happen. Well, food desert, that can be any area that doesn't have access to good quality, healthy foods within a 10-mile radius. So food desert can be in a city, a food desert can be out in the middle of nowhere. So if you don't have readily available food there, you're not going to be able to feed your body on a daily basis. You're going to go to the corner store or the convenience store down the street because you have access to it, and what they sell there is all dead. It's all chemicals. None of it can actually be considered food. It's all processed. Some convenience stores you can purchase fresh fruit. I know nowadays 7-Eleven and Wawa sell fresh fruit and some salads and things like that, but then you also have an overabundance of processed foods. And most people will gravitate towards the processed foods if they're purchasing foods from a convenience store as opposed to the healthier options. In order to really come against the food desert, if you can't get the access to those foods, the best thing that we can do is to get into the schools and make sure that children are eating well-balanced meals. Usually if there's a food desert, you're in a lower income area, so a lot of children get a good majority of their foods, at least 2 or 3 meals a day, from school. They get free or reduced rate lunches and breakfast as well. So if you're feeding the kids sugary cereals for breakfast and you have pizza that counts as their vegetable for lunch, they have a completely nutritionally void food. There's nothing there to actually feed their bodies. And then we have them to perform and to study and do well on standardized tests with that kind of diet. They can't focus, they can't concentrate, they can't learn as well, so they end up doing more poorly on standardized tests. And if schools don't perform well on standardized testing, a lot of times they lose some of their funding. So that is just another notch against them. So if we can get good quality food in there, if we can get, like for instance, in my daughter's current school district, they have salads every day. They have fresh fruit every day. They don't serve fried foods there. I mean, granted, you can still get pizza every now and then or get mozzarella sticks, but you can also get a good quality lunch as well. You can get a good quality breakfast. So we can reach into the schools and make sure that children are eating well and making healthier choices. That can help them feed them. And also if we can educate in schools, or we can educate on what a good healthy diet looks like, what making good food choices looks like, that can actually come back home. Every day my daughter will come home and tell me about what she learned at school. And if she's telling me that she learned how to eat properly, that's something that can be actually passed on to the adults, and then they can start making better food choices when they're doing their grocery shopping and getting the foods that they need.